à tous. Merci d'honorer le rendez-vous des unes de vos journaux. Nous sommes mardi 11 mai 2021. Garoua a son roi, son nom, Ibrahim El Rachidine. Le quotidien L'Essentiel titre ce matin sur le nouveau lamido de Garoua et parle de fin de suspense dans ce lamida. Le portrait et les défis de l'heureux élu sont à lire à la deuxième page de la parution de L'Essentiel qui propose également un dossier ce matin sur les inutiles batailles entre les mairies-villes et les communes d'arrondissement. Du pain sur la planche pour la tutelle qui doit arbitrer les conflits entre les collectivités. La nouvelle expression sur le lamida de Garoua rappelle que le nouveau roi, Ibrahim El Rachidine, est un militaire, ancien porte-fagnon d'un général d'armée, bien évidemment, et la succession de ce 15e roi atypique et jeune, 37 ans, donne l'occasion à la nouvelle expression de refaire l'histoire de la dynastie du Lamida de Garoua depuis 1810. Sans remonter le temps, mutation marque un temps d'arrêt dans le lamida de Garoua. À la une, décidément, si l'équipe de Georges-Alain Boyomo dresse le portrait du nouveau roi, elle n'oublie pas de revenir sur les temps forts de ce match qui opposait Ibrahim El Rachidine à Issa Hayatou. L'ancien président de la CAF joue et perd, mais reste cependant très fair-play devant la décision du collège électoral des 12 notables dont 7 ont donné leur voix au roi. Trafic illégal d'armes, c'est Cameroun Tribune qui en parle et prévient du danger de la vente des armes dans les réseaux informels. Le non-respect des procédures et de la loi par les armureries viennent de pousser le gouvernement à prendre des mesures pour y mettre un terme, car la paix sur l'ensemble du territoire national en dépend. Le journal propose tout un focus à ce sujet. À la page 3, Cameroun Tribune revient également sur le cas Jacques Calvin et Yafa. Ce prisonnier de 49 ans qui se faisait passer pour le DCC depuis la prison centrale de Kondengui où il est d'ailleurs incarcéré. Sa cible, les chefs d'État africains et les organisations non gouvernementales. Une histoire invraisemblable relayée aussi ce matin par le quotidien Réalité Plus. L'escroquerie du faux directeur du cabinet civil a été stoppée net par une haute personnalité du Niger qu'il voulait frapper, entre guillemets, pour reprendre les mots du journal qui montre en image, vous le voyez, Jacques Calvin et Yafa. Paul Guarekindi sur l'incendie du tribunal de Fumbot pointe un doigt accusateur sur des personnes insoupçonnables qui auraient, selon le journal, fait appel à des pyromanes. Détail, pages 4 et 5. The Guardian Post revient lui aussi ce matin sur le mode opératoire hors norme du prisonnier de Kondengui, Jacques Calvin et Yafa, ou le haut niveau de la Fémania. En politique, The Guardian Post propose à lire également les détails sur l'affaire des fonds Covid-19 et le SDF qui somme au gouvernement de faire toute la lumière sur cette affaire de gestion de fonds. Éco-santé, pour Éco-santé ce matin, Éco-santé entre donc au cœur du laboratoire national de contrôle de qualité des médicaments et d'expertise. Une grève serait donc une grève générale et illimitée serait en gestation dans cette structure et en cause les tensions de trésorerie. Les employés revendiquent 4 mois de salaire impayé donc, ainsi que le reversement des frais d'homologation des médicaments. Le LANACOM en détresse, ainsi titre ce mardi le quotidien de Joseph Mbeng. Boum. Le quotidien L'économie sur les traces de la transformation locale de cacao constate que les machines d'Atlantic Cocoa Corporation sont à l'arrêt depuis 3 mois. À l'origine de cette grosse et longue grippe, le manque de la matière première. L'entreprise de Kribi ne produit plus et ce sont près de 200 employés qui sont donc en difficulté du côté de Kribi. Le temps du Bamekim, interrogateur ce mardi, zoom sur les bâtiments de la SAR SM de Ngoro. Pourquoi t'ont-ils abandonné? Le il mis ici pour les élites de la localité qui regardent et laissent mourir selon le journal le bâtiment créé en 1974. Le temps du Bamekim veut une action. De même pour l'hebdomadaire L'étudiant. L'étudiant donc qui revient sur le mur de la mort des Bolova. La semaine dernière, on se rappelle, la petite Mekambani, élève en 2e année au lycée technique des Bolova, perdait la vie sur le chemin de l'école après l'effondrement d'un mur. Les coupables ont-ils été inquiétés? Qu'a-t-on fait pour tenter de consoler la famille de l'infortuné? À lire dans L'étudiant. Et un policier gardé à vue pour meurtre, c'est la une du quotidien Le Jour. Le drame s'est produit à Yaoundé. La victime est un handicapé physique. L'infortuné est décédé après avoir reçu une balle. Que s'est-il passé? Pourquoi avoir fait usage de son arme? Les faits à la page 5 de ce jour de Le Jour. C'était la une de vos journaux. Vous aimez l'odeur de l'encre? Eh bien, rendez-vous au kiosque et nous vous disons à demain. J'espère.
The Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education has urged the various regional delegates of Youth Affairs and Civic Education to speed up efforts in order to give this year's National Day celebration a befitting touch. Minister Monuna Fotsu was speaking Monday while chairing a meeting via video conferences to better plan for the launch of activities towards the May 20 celebration. The official launch is scheduled for May 14 and will run through the 19, 2021.
Lutte contre le braconnage, le comité régional de l'Est via les CIR met la main sur un important stock de dépouilles d'animaux frais et boucanés au sud de la ville de Bertois. Le délégué régional des forêts et de la faune, Francis Durand-Na, qui a organisé la vente aux enchères, met en garde les contrevenants à la loi faunique qui exerce dans la région de l'Est.
Eyafa Jacques Calvin, inmate of the Konenge Central Prison, impersonating the Minister, Director of the Civil Cabinet of the Presidency of the Republic, is the latest cache in the dragnet of the police. After succeeding in duping high-profile personalities, including the President of Niger, the Delegate General of National Security Martin Bagagele immediately ordered for an investigation on May 4, 2021 to fish out the alleged impostor.
Le Cameroun sera présent à la prochaine élection de Miss Univers 2021 qui aura lieu le 16 mai prochain à Hollywood, aux États-Unis. Angèle Kosinda va donc permettre à son pays d'être sur la scène de Miss Univers 2021. C'est une grande première pour le Cameroun d'être à ce grand concours de beauté pour tenter de succéder à la Sud-Africaine Zozibini Tunzi. C'est son statut de Miss Univers Cameroun 2021 qui lui donne accès à la grande compétition. Son parcours est encourageant. Angèle Kosinda avait été désignée 3e dauphine de Miss Afrique, puis Miss Supranational Africa. Elle faisait également partie du jury de Miss Cameroun 2020, alors qu'Audrey Moncan remportait la couronne.
Voilà, c'est donc les titres de l'actualité qui vont guider nos journaux sur CRTV News cette journée de mardi 11 mai 2021. On va parler d'économie et dans cette édition de Cameroun Daylight, Beatrice Ngoum est là. On la retrouve dans une seconde. Bonjour Beatrice.
Good morning, Cathy.
Nous sommes très heureux d'être avec vous ce matin. On va parler d'économie.
Yes, Cathy, we are going to begin in the port of Douala to talk about the new case that have been acquired on that port. Those cases are going to help traffic there because more vessels will be able to load and upload on that case. So it's some kind of new achievement for that port because they've been operating with some, but they've added another one to make traffic more fluid for vessels that are coming in and out into that port.
Voilà, le port autonome de Douala qui devient sans cesse compétitif avec la mise en place de nouveaux portiques. Et maintenant, on va rester dans la région du littoral, principalement à Douala, où le prix du poisson est relativement élevé. Que se passe-t-il?
Cathy, it's not only in Douala. A few weeks back, you remember here in Yaoundé, we did a story too on that. But in Douala, it's becoming more serious because the fresh fish consumers in that part of the country are not only complaining about the price hikes, they are equally complaining about the scarcity of fresh fish, and they are saying that most of them, when they go to the market, they don't have fresh fish, and even when you have it, it's relatively very high, 8,000 to 10,000 francs, only to purchase maybe a carton of fish. And Cynthia Etim went down to one of the markets in Douala that is very famous in the sale of fish, and this is what she gathered.
We are at the Upwe market, a hub renowned for its diversity of fresh fish due to its closeness to the sea. The effervescence that usually characterized this market has not been the same since December 2020. This is as a result of a scarcity in supply of fresh fish, leading to an increase in demand and increase in prices. A situation fishermen explain is due to some natural factors and increase in prices of fishing materials.
Is a period to fish are laying eggs in the mangrove. We have not many fish in the market.
The fishermen that they are doing fishing, some of them they have gone for revival. Because of the climate of the water, the condition of the water, we cannot have enough fish.
These factors that account for price hikes of fresh fish in Douala have affected the relationship that existed between buyers and vendors.
The same fish that they used to buy for 10,000, they will buy it for at least 14 or 15,000 because there's no fish. So you see some of them, they are not really happy.
To the dealers, the rainy season favors increase in supply of fresh fish.
Fish are many when rain is falling.
Vendors have thus assured consumers that they will have fresh fish in large quantity and affordable prices in days ahead.
Beatrice, heureusement que le poisson sera un peu moins sollicité que la viande à l'occasion de la fête du Ramadan.
Exactly, Cathy, because they mostly eat ram, the ram.
Exactement. Maintenant, je vous convie à vous rendre dans la région du sud-ouest, principalement sur le tronçon... Du sud. Du sud. Principalement sur le tronçon Mengan-Saint-Mélima. Le ministre des Travaux publics a effectué une visite de ce côté.
Yes, he was there since yesterday. It's a 2-day visit. The minister is visiting road construction and rehabilitation works in that part of the country. And yesterday he was on the Mengon-Saint-Mélima stretch of road where he noted with satisfaction that construction work on that stretch is advancing. We are talking here about 65% of work advancement on that stretch. The minister, however, says that that project is scheduled to be completed by September of this year. So in the following report, Joyce Kimbi Fowaju, who is part of that 2-day mission to the south, is going to be telling us what is really happening in that part of the country as far as road construction on the Saint-Mélima, Mengon and other stretches is concerned.
The Jar Ring project consists of the rehabilitation of some road axes, building about 9 concrete culverts and social amenities to the population. The visiting supervisory authority evaluated the quality of work done and saw 65% already executed. The construction company is upbeat to finish in 4 months.
We have tarred 41 kilometers and 23 kilometers to be tarred in 2 months.
Minister Ngannou's trail hit the Cameroon portion of the transborder road Sangmalima-Weso. Sangmalima-Bikola lot is still at 65% executed, while the Bikola-Jum lot is already 90% done. Constraints include resistance to expropriation by locals. The minister issues instant solutions to the population via the divisional officer. Non-payment of bills is also handled immediately with programmed payment, to the excitement of the construction companies.
The work that has been done till today by the contractor is about 8 billion francs. And the payment till today is about 2.5 billion.
The impact of the resolution is immediate as the company gets back to work on areas that were stopped.
You see that it's going to ease farm-to-market transportation of produce in that part of the country and even between Cameroon and other neighboring countries.
Exactement, parce que très souvent, c'est le problème de nos agriculteurs qui n'arrivent pas à écouler leurs produits vers les centres urbains et vers les grandes métropoles. Et maintenant, je voudrais bien savoir, parce qu'on va parler de toute autre chose, on va quitter les routes pour parler de la taxe mobile. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Well, the mobile tax, Cathy, is what taxpayers will be using now. That's their mobile phone to pay their taxes under the divisional tax centers. And when you use the mobile tax, you have it's just like when you're doing money transfer. They give you the options to follow when you enter. As you enter them, you follow the different options that have been put at your disposal on your phone, and with your phone you can then pay your tax. So those who are used to paying their tax, they will not have to trek or to leave their homes to go to the different centers, divisional taxpayer centers to go do the operation. You can now do it from the comfort of your home by using your mobile phone. You just enter the different options that have been provided for you on your mobile phone, and then the amount that you're supposed to pay, and the transaction is done. And Ewane Pole visited a divisional taxpayers center here in Yaoundé, and they are going to be explaining to us how the operation is carried out using the phone.
Un centre à Yaoundé,
yes. Finalement. We have different centers in Yaoundé and even across the region.
C'est très important de savoir comment tout cela fonctionne.
Yes.
Mobile Tax 2 electronic payment system introduced by the Directorate General of Taxation concerns taxpayers of divisional tax centers.
Mobile tax is about carrying out our tax obligation vis-à-vis the tax administration through internet, what we call e-file. It involves the declarations and also involves payment.
The declaration and payment of taxes and duties electronically is an important move to help petty traders.
With this new mode of payment and declaration, the taxpayer does not have to move. So it is kind of save a lot of time for him and let him concentrate much of his time to do business. It also secures the taxpayers' money. Now, in just your phone, you can do your payment, you can do everything without moving. When you do your e-filing, the first thing is you always receive a message that confirms that your payment has gone through.
The procedure is simple to pay your tax. You just need to type *206 *1 hash or #150 *3 hash and let yourself be guided.
Alors, Béatrice, on va terminer par le chiffre du jour, 150. Un petit chiffre aujourd'hui, quand même.
Yes, 150 small and medium-sized enterprises impacted by COVID-19, because you know we are in the COVID period, are going to benefit from the support of PNUD, the United Nations Driven Development Program. So there are 150 of them, small and medium-sized enterprises, that are going to be receiving support from the United Nations Development Driven Program.
Voilà, c'est une bonne nouvelle pour les entreprises qui ont été vraiment asphyxiées en 2020 par les affres du Covid-19. Le programme des Nations Unies pour le développement leur a donc apporté un accompagnement conséquent. Merci beaucoup, Béatrice, d'avoir été avec nous.
My pleasure.
À mardi prochain.
God willing, I'll be there.
Voilà, c'est donc l'actualité économique présentée par Beatrice Ngoum qui nous souhaitons une excellente journée. On va poursuivre ce programme en vous rappelant que les travaux se précisent du côté du complexe sportif d'Olembe. Le ministre des Sports et de l'Éducation physique va effectuer une autre descente sur le terrain ce matin. Question d'apprécier l'évolution de ces travaux en préparation à la Coupe d'Afrique des Nations qui pointe à l'horizon. D'autres informations contenues dans les journaux tabloïds en anglais présentés par Rita Macan dans quelques secondes.
Hello to you all watching us from wherever you are. This is Tabloids, your daily press review. And let's go straight away with what is making headline news this Tuesday, May 11, 2021. And let's go straight away with news from La Nouvelle Expression, for example, which says Lamida of Garwa, a military man at the command. You can see on the front page of the newspaper the picture of the new Lamido, Ibrahim al-Rashidin Yerima, who, according to La Nouvelle Expression, was the former help of a general. The paper also seizes this occasion to trace the dynasty of the Garwa Lamida since 1810. Catch the dossier on page 2 of La Nouvelle Expression. L'essentiel newspaper headlines: Succession, Ibrahim el-Rashidin. The new Lamido of Garwa, Ibrahim el-Rashidin, has been elected yesterday to succeed late Alim Ayatu, who died last month. The paper precises that the army officer aged 37 won the battle against the former president of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, Issa Ayatu. Still on the same news, Mutation rather shows the picture of Issa Hayatu, who lost the game according to Mutation newspaper, the daily newspaper. Actually, the former president of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, largely preceded by Ibrahim el-Rashidin. In this edition of Mutation newspaper, you will get the profile of the new Lamido of Garwa. Garwa, Ibrahim el-Rashidin is new Lamido. Cameroon Tribune says the 37-year-old gendarmerie officer was elected yesterday, May 10, 2021, after winning 7 of the 12 votes cast. The new Lamido is the grandson of the 11th ruler, Lamido Abdoulaye Hayatu, and the 15th Lamido of the Garwa Lamida. In other news, and we stay with the National Bilingual News Daily, Cameroon Tribune. Now we're talking about the Ramadan feast, an Ascension feast. 30,000 face masks for faithful, according to Cameroon Tribune. The National Bilingual News Daily informs us that the head of state gifts were dished out yesterday, May 10, 2021, by Territorial Administration Minister Paula Tangenji to the Archbishop of Yaoundé, imams, and of course Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon for their respective denominations. Meanwhile, the search for the moon by a Muslim begins this Tuesday evening. Read these stories and more on today's edition of Cameroon Tribune. A fake director of civil cabinet at the presidency, Faya Jacques, has been arrested by the police, according to Réalité Plus newspaper. He pretended to be the director of civil cabinet, Samuel Mvondo Ayolo. Faya, who is detained at the Yaoundé Central Prison, scammed dozens of general managers, ambassadors, and heads of state before being arrested by the police following denunciations made by a personality in Niger who was the next on the list. Read more on his different operations on pages 8 and 9 of today's edition of Realite Plus. On the other hand, the Guardian Post newspaper terms this act as a high-level fame mania, and headlines: police arrest Kondengi prisoner for attempting to dupe African leaders. The suspect, who is an inmate of the Kondengi maximum security prison, is alleged to have been using the name of the director of civil cabinet at the presidency to also extort diplomatic missions, international organizations, and businessmen. The suspect was presented to the press Monday at the General Delegation of National Security in Yaoundé. Let's now talk health. On today's edition of Tabloid Drugs Quality Control, EcoSanté tells us that Lanacom is in distress. According to the paper, there are tensions at the National Drug Quality Control and Valuation Laboratory, Lanacom. The staff of this structure is complaining of 4 months of unpaid salaries. EcoSanté echoes the plights of the workers who are planning an unlimited strike action if nothing is done to solve the problem. The paper equally indicates that Dr. Manauda Malashi's intervention is highly awaited. PRESSE, on its part, looks at governance and points out how COVID-19 tests frightens. According to PRESSE, according to this weekly newspaper, investigations conducted by a non-governmental organization reveal that there is a traffic of fake PCR tests in airports at a high cost, whereas these tests are supposed to be free of charge. PRESSE goes further to show how Cameroonian authorities are ready to eradicate the phenomenon and how they are working to look for a lasting solution to the problem. Well, these are some of the headlines. These are some of the topics that are making headline news this Tuesday, May 11, 2021. Informing you means getting a copy of the newspapers. Thanks for watching.